According to the Athletics' James Mirtle, there's shared interest between the Leafs and UFA to be Laurent Brossoit. 31 years of age, Rosie played this past season with Winnipeg as Connor Hellebuck's backup. He was tremendous. We had Rick Bowness on the show last week. He talked about Brossoit and how good he was. 15-5-2, 927 save percentage, and of course played for Vegas in their Cup win a couple years back. Was 5-2 before going down. Aiden Hill takes over. We know the rest of that story, but made $1.75 million last season. Firstly, where do you sit on the Brossoit conversation? Do you like that tandem pairing of him and Joseph Woll?
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't think too much about this guy. Didn't know a whole lot about him. He's kind of been in the shadow a little bit after, Aiden Hill took over and won the Cup. Everyone was talking about him. He's in Winnipeg with Hellebuck. He gets overshadowed by him. But, I mean, his numbers are insane. He seems to be, everywhere he goes, he seems to be really solid. It sounds like he's ready to be a number one guy and step out of that shadow and kind of show the world, a little bit more who he is. And originally, when you bring it up, I'm like, no, man, we want someone more, we want someone more, solidified
Polished
in the league and that has, that background and is a little more polished and can handle the market and whatnot. So that's my first intuition. But you look at a guy like Markstrom, and he's kind of been streaky at times, some up and downs, and loses his game here and there. And, you look at this guy, his numbers are huge. And you got to remember that Joseph Woll is there and could very well have stretches of the season where he's the number one guy. So you almost want to have a little bit of a switch hit thing. So the more I look at it, the more, intrigued I become by it, especially when how is a guy with that pedigree making $1 million? Like, that's peanuts in today's dollars. So yeah, it's something to think about for sure. I'm not against it. And the more I look into it, the more I'm like, this is kind of interesting.
He could command, I would say, just as my speculation, $3 to $4 million per season in free agency on a multi-year deal. He's made it be known that he wants a bigger opportunity. I don't think at this point he's discounted the possibility of returning to Winnipeg. I think sometimes when you know what you have, it's tough to stray from it. I agree with you. I think in a perfect world, I still want somebody a bit more polished. And my concern with this is that for the last 20 years, we've talked about this team bringing in guy after guy after guy who is a relative unknown, unproven number one in this league. And for the first time in a while, there's like 3 or 4 guys out there that are proven number ones in this league. So I would say I'm not against bringing in Brossoit. I think he's severely underrated, but he wouldn't be my primary option. I would still try to trade for somebody like Markstrom or Allmark, or in a perfect world, UC Saros or Philip Gustafsson with the Minnesota Wild. But as like a secondary or tertiary option, I'm good with it. If you get to July 1, you still don't have a goalie, and I think you have to find a guy, I think it would make a lot of sense to forge this partnership. But I think a lot of teams are going to be involved. I just don't want this to be the number one guy because, again, it screams Jonathan Bernier to me.
Yeah, I know they've been down that road, but I mean, if you look at what they had, there was time like Samsonov, when they signed him, he was kind of like this reclamation project and someone else's throwaways, and couldn't hack it in Washington. So let's see if we can hack in Toronto. Good luck. But he had many times where he played fantastic. And I mean, I think if you look at, say they sign him tomorrow, I would say that's an upgrade to what they have. And that could be a nice compliment. Again, Joseph Woll kind of gets forgotten about, but the sky's the limit for him. If he wants to take another step this year, he could be, a premier goaltender in this league. He's got the ability to do it. Will he or not? I don't know. It's a big ask, but to supplement him with someone like this guy, it looks like a massive upgrade in goal. And like you say, it doesn't cost you $8-9 million. It's relatively cheap. So I agree with you. If you go out for the big fish and it's not coming together, if he's your backup plan, I think it's still a huge upgrade.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.